I'm back. Can you tell? Yeah, I know my hair's a mess. I was supposed to go get a haircut this week. I didn't do it. These things happen. Listen, I have no idea what day it is. These bouts I get every once in a while. I'll go 48 straight hours awake, and then I'll sleep for 18. Or I'll go 48 straight hours awake, and I'll sleep for 3. I'll be up for 2 hours, up to sleep for 3 more, be up for 8 hours. It's crazy. It lasts usually lasts a week or 2, and then I'm all right. So I think I'm all right. I don't know. I got some sleep last night, which is good, because you'll appreciate the fact that I get sleep. That being said, all right, let me hit this real quick. The North Carolina law went too far. No two ways about it. Absolutely, positively. Do I think it's worth, people paying $100 to $200 retail, $100 to $200 for a ticket, and waiting 3 months for a performer, any performer, to show up, and then he don't show up because he doesn't like the law? Okay. I think that's kind of silly. I think it's kind of rude. The people in North Carolina voted on this law through their representatives, legislators, senators, whatever they, have down there, assembly people. And it got signed. Yes, it went through very quickly. And yes, it goes too far. I'll stipulate to the fact that it's ridiculously written. But that's the law. They want it changed, they'll change it. They'll call up their representatives. Whoa, what's this overnight? You come up with this law. Yeah, no, I don't want, I don't want little boys in the bedroom with my little girl. But what's with this law? I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you got one, you go to boys' room. If you don't got one, you go to little girls' room. If you don't know whether you got one or not, you belong on the short bus. But I mean, look, I don't care what your son identifies with. I don't want him in the bathroom with my daughter. I don't care what your daughter identifies. I don't want her in the bathroom with my son. Face it. When you're a little kid, you look around and stuff. And I don't want a girl looking at my little boy. I don't want a boy looking at my little girl. I don't need that. And I don't care if the little boy thinks he's a little girl, so he thinks it's okay. I don't need that. You're in the, they get to be 18, get out on the road. They want to run for office and change these laws. Good for them. God bless them. They want to, get to be 18, and they want to walk around in overhauls like Green Acres, and she wants to ride the tractor and all that. Good for her. He wants to walk around in stiletto heels. Good for him. She wants to take hormones. He wants to take hormones. Good for them. God bless them. But in a schoolhouse? No. I'm sorry. That just ain't right. Or you designate one bathroom somewhere. That's where they go. Look at one place down there it's only got one bathroom. So it had, all these pictures somebody drew all over it. They put a piece of paper on there and drew different things all over it and says, we solved it, no problem. Please lock the door behind you. Done. You give them one bathroom somewhere, and that's where they go. I don't want boys in the girls' locker room. What's this? These new day and age, we used to have to go under the sinks and drill a hole into the girls' locker room to peek in the girls. Wait, what am I saying? That was a movie. Never mind. It's strike that, okay? The idea is I don't want anybody looking at anybody, especially in those years, those tween years. When you know what? You might even be able to convince me somehow. I'm still not sure, but you might even convince me somehow that just prior to puberty or something, they start getting little hormone traces tickling at their, pituitary or wherever it comes from. And you know what? Maybe, they're getting just the first little traces of feeling like there's something different about them. That's the wrong time. The wrong time to be messing with stuff like that. Let them figure out what they are. If they figure out what they are, that's fine. I don't care what they are. I just don't want them in the same place. It ain't right. That's my opinion, and you know how I feel about yours, Scarlett. That's my opinion. Now, if some particular performer, years ago somebody wrote a book, I believe it was Laura Ingraham, and it was in the early part of 2000s, I think, 2002, 2003, somewhere in there. She wrote a book called Shut Up and Sing. If I recall correctly, because, me, I got CRS, if I recall correctly, she was aiming it directly at Barbra Streisand, but I'm not sure. It might have been the Dixie Chicks, because the Dixie Chicks had that whole row that time, making controversial, or at least the one made controversial comments. So she wrote the book, Shut Up and Sing. So that became a mantra, telling people, look, you don't like the law in North Carolina, you don't like the law in Arkansas, you don't like the law in Texas, Maine, Washington State, Washington, D.C. Run. Put your microphone down, put your guitar down, and run. Shirley Temple ran. Gopher from the Love Boat, Fred Grandy, I think it was Iowa or Indiana, and I-State, he ran for, and he won, and he stayed there for a while. Sonny Bono became a mayor. Clint Eastwood became the mayor. Ronald Reagan was an actor. They ran. They won. Run. I mean, sure, you're going to have name recognition. Everybody's going to know who you are. Run. You get elected? Now you go stand there on the floor with a real microphone in your hand instead of you're going to sing a little song. Go down there and you do a song and dance for your people who elected you. That's how you do it. Nobody's listening to me. I know nobody's listening to me. I do this for me. If I was doing it for you, I'd care what you think. I'm doing it for me. This is my channel. I ran it. I'm doing this for me. As far as I'm concerned, run for office, do the job, stand there. But nobody's listening to me, and what I mean by that is the fact that I'm just ranting here. I'm an amateur pundit, I'm a wannabe pundit, kind of a thing. A friend of mine, Lionel, not really a friend of mine, but, we know. I used to go see him in New Jersey and stuff. We used to sit at the bar and have one before he went on. The idea is that, we both did the same thing, call talk shows. That's what he did. That's how he got started. He was a lawyer down in Florida. Minding his own business, calling people on the radio. I do it on Twitter. I do it on Facebook. By the way, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. If you dare. The idea of nobody listening to me is the fact that I just tell you what I think. And if you happen to be a politician and you think the same way, well, you now know how one of your constituents thinks about things. And if you're a politician and you don't think the same way, I don't care. I don't care. You go do what you do. And you know what? If you do it right by your constituents, they're going to keep you. If you do it wrong by your constituents, they're going to dump you. So simple as that, boys and girls. They're going to keep you or dump you. And not for nothing, but I believe in term limits. People should be able to vote for anybody they want. Yeah, I get it. Well, why do we have term limits on some of the other offices like president, thank God? Why is there somebody being a politician? You asked George Washington. By the way, you know what, George? Yeah, pull the boat over. What do you think? I'm going to run for the Senate. Or I'm going to run for Congress. Oh, that's nice. That's a good thing. You're a good citizen of the new country, America. Yeah, well, I figure what the hell, I'm going to stay there 20, 30 years. And what? What? I'm giving you guys a few years. I'm going back to Mount Vernon. I got beer and whiskey and stuff to brew, or wine, whatever. Thomas Jefferson was into beer and George Washington was into wine. I don't remember. I'm going back to Mount Vernon. I got time for this. I did my gig. I won you this country. I'm going to stand there and let you, get things organized. And as soon as you're done, out I go. Well, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. That's why they wrote term limits into the presidency. Because that's how it's supposed to be. Because otherwise you become king or emperor like the schmoo that's up there now wants to be. He was begging for a third term. And he was going to get there. If he got anywhere near a third term, he was going to run for emperor. And he was never going to leave. I don't think I should listen to anybody just because they're standing in front of me with a microphone. If I do, I do. That's my business. But you know something? When I'm paying $100 to go sit in a seat somewhere, $200 to sit in a seat somewhere, I looked up a couple of concerts for my wife's birthday, just because, what the heck, it'd be nice, go down to, Portland or up to LA or something, and take in something, a band she likes, from 80s band or, Hall & Oates or Air Supply or something like that. Yeah, I could sit through it for an hour. It's not that big a deal. Even Huey Lewis, I guess, is on tour again. The dad of rock and roll. Anyhow, I was looking up these tickets, and I think the one that came right to mind was Hall & Oates. $175 for a decent, not great, decent seat. And that's at retail. That's going by Ticketmaster. Or Ticket Hub, or whatever it was called. $175. You've got to be kidding. Twice, plus parking. But no. I love my wife to death, but $750 for a concert. By the time you add it all up, you got to go to something to eat. You got to go park. You got to pay for the 2 tickets. And forget about it. You get a T-shirt for $40. No, I'll see you. So these people are paying all this money, and they want to go and hear you sing. That's what they paid the money for. They did not go to hear you tell them about the president. They did not go there to tell you about another state. They did not go there to have you tell them about what you feel about this bill, that bill, the other bill. They went there to hear you sing. Shut up and sing. The only reason I don't shut up and sing is because I can't sing. Yeah, I know. I have a nice time at karaoke, and everybody tells me what a good job I do. But you know something? They're full of it, too. If I had 1/8 of the talent that some of my friends that I see when I go there had, I'd be happy. But, everybody puts up with me. Why? Because I sing unusual songs. I pick up the unusual songs. I sing the occasional Italian song. I sing the occasional Yiddish song. I sing, I do the odd stuff. I do rap. I do Run DMC's Christmas in Hollis every Christmas time. This old white guy standing there singing Run DMC. Anyway, well, you got to see it. It's really kind of funny. Anyhow, if you agree with me, good for you. Click the like, click the subscribe, click the, whatever. I'm going to try and get those little box things to work this time. I still haven't gotten it right. I'm missing a video or two already that I tried, and I ended up flushing them because I tried to get it and I ended up with it so screwed up. I didn't know what to do. I dumped it. So here I am today, even though it's on a Saturday, 9 April 2016. Until next time, let's be careful out there, and God bless the United States of America.